I think when we have our on days, I think it's really helpful to ease some of the stress off of other people a little bit, but we're all working out there supporting each other, so yeah.
I think her and I feed off each other really well. She's got my back, I got her back, and so I think that's what helps us, like, be successful in those moments, and our teammates also, like, we know that they're behind us when we take those big swings, so that part makes it easier.
Yeah, you guys jumped out really quickly in the first two sets, kind of loosened up. It seems like you guys are having more fun. Is it easier to play when you guys have success early?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
for sure.
we always talk about having good energy, and in that game, like, it kind of ebbed and flowed a little bit, and so we really focused on that in the fourth set, and I think that's what helped us have the big gap that we had.
Yeah, I know we talked about the longer rallies beforehand, but how big is those, especially for momentum in a game like that?
I think playing games where the rallies are really long are really fun, but also tiring at the same time. But it's just fun to see the high level of defense that the other team is playing. I think we worked well with it. Obviously, it didn't go in our favor all the time, but I think that made us a lot better today. And it was fun.
Yeah.
After the third set, what was the message? Kind of bounce back. Seemed like you guys kind of took all wind out of their sails in that fourth set.
I think in the third set, our errors just kind of piled up a little bit, and so we talked about how we can minimize those and take advantage of the opportunities that are given to us, and so, yeah.
Yep.
That's what we kind of talked about.
Obviously, the last time we were at home didn't necessarily go the way that we would have liked it to, and we've had now 2 weeks to be able to work through some of that, get better as a team, get better as individuals, and I was excited to be able to get back to the FCSC and play on our home court again. So, we had some really good moments. Offensively, I think we did some really good things today. We were a little high error in sets 1 and 2, limited those in 3 and 4, but in set 3, we just lost our discipline. They played a lot better in set 3 offensively. But unfortunately we weren't necessarily following the game plan as well in that set. So made the switches, we kind of made some adjustments again with our lineup, and I think we did much better job in set 4 of just doing our job at a high level, understanding the discipline piece and what we could control. And then I think honestly offensively that was probably our best game as well, just in terms of executing, terminating when we could, but also limiting our errors. So our serving today was really good. 9 aces in a 4-set match is pretty high, and especially in a couple of those sets, set 1 being specifically set 1, and then I think set 4 we got after it a little bit more again. We just got them on a system where they were more predictable, and we were able to play defense at a higher level on the backside. Avery obviously scored the ball today. As a setter, having 7 kills, that's a pretty high number, and I think she did it at good times, and then got some people involved. Obviously our outsides led the offense in terms of the number of kills, but our middles definitely got more involved there in the last couple sets, especially set 4 again, with Morgan and Amanda being able to kind of capitalize a little bit more on some of those quick attacks in the middle.
When we spoke earlier in the week about defense, you mentioned that's your team's strength, what you like to focus on. How important was it to have, those blocks early on in the match?
Huge. I think just we can be a very good blocking team, and so much of it, again, comes back down to the discipline piece. Understand what our job is in that moment, which hitter is in front of us. And I think we did that well in spurts. Like I said, set 3, I think we lost that a little bit, but I was happy to see some of the adjustments that we made. And I think our team is just staying patient. We're going to get better, I think, as each match goes on, understanding tendencies, seeing it live in front of us. And I think we did that in some pretty crucial points. And I think even our middles got some touches on their middles, which we weren't doing early on in the match, and it slowed them down and again gave us the opportunity to score on the backside.
Yeah, big story this season has been your guys' depth. How important, how important is it when you can have people like Cora and Barrett come in and make an impact right away?
It's huge. We've been preaching that since the beginning of just the fact that our depth is going to help us win matches, and it continues to do so. We made the switch after set 2, put Audrey in the middle and Amanda on the right side, and I still like the decision, it just didn't pan out the way that I wanted to see it pan out, so we kind of went back to it. But I think being able to trust that we can make some of those adjustments, we can get better through it, we can go back to people, but Barrett's always ready. The minute I turn my head, she's halfway up the sideline already, and that just, I think it makes a difference. She's prepared, she's engaged, and I know she's gonna go in and make some big plays. And then Cora obviously has been playing as of late. That she didn't get as many defensive digs as what I would usually see her get, but she also wasn't attacked to as often. So I thought she did her job pretty well today. Serving wise, I mean, she had 3 aces, so led our team there. But yeah, we're going to keep preaching our depth. We're going to keep using our depth, and we see it every day in practice, and it's kind of fun to be able to let our fans and families see it as well on the court.
And then it seemed like even dropping the third set, nothing could really knock your team out of the rhythm they were in tonight. How important is that going into this long stretch of games within these next 2 weeks?
I mean, it's huge. One of the things we talked about after the match is just the fact that that's what every conference game is going to be. Very rarely are we going to be able to walk into a match and sweep somebody 3-0, or vice versa, us getting swept. So we've got to be comfortable with some of the ups and downs of the match. And if I think about the last time we were home versus St. Thomas and Omaha, I think that stressed us out a little bit more. Where we did drop, it early, and then we weren't able to rebound as well. So, I mean, we talked after the third set of just getting our edge back, being a little bit more disciplined on our side of the net, but going and making plays, not waiting for things to be given to us. And I felt like we did that early on, a little bit back and forth right away, but then we had that big run after they had a few points to kind of start to stretch it out. So I was really happy with, again, the idea of being okay with not always playing our best. You got to find ways to win, and sometimes it's going to be clean and it's going to be pretty, and sometimes it's going to be ugly, and that's okay. So we had kind of both sides of that tonight within different sets, but I was obviously really happy that we could end on a very clean note.